I've been getting a lot of TikToks and of, top 10 90s hits, 80s hits, worst intros, best guitar riffs.
Really?
And the sad part is you got these average Joes on TikTok making these. Do you remember the show we did, the top 200 guitarists for that publication?
I remember it. I've tried really hard to forget that list. That list was painful.
So these average Joes like yourself and I are doing a whole lot better.
I would rather have nasal cancer than review that list again.
There's a good percentage of those guys that probably have nasal cancer. Anyhow, no, I've been checking them out. Like, there's some intros, guitar intros, that I didn't expect to hear on TikTok.
Oh?
Yeah.
As in?
There was some Nazareth in there. There was some old Aerosmith.
Post-Jesus or pre-Jesus? Or when Jesus was
The Hair
there?
of the Dog era.
Hair of the Dog. Okay.
And then, there was, of course, there was your typical stuff that you're going to find, like the Eddie Van Halen's. But there was a lot of Satriani and Vai that just shocked me for it being mainstream.
That's Steve Vai. Nice.
Like what?
boy.
Like what?
Well, I can't think of the names now.
Give me examples, because the only I must, and this is not one of those things where like everything you think before the word "but" is bullshit. But,
Big Butt.
with Steve Vai, when it comes to a lot of his solo stuff, with the exception of maybe the audience is listening, not a lot of it is very, what I would say, radio friendly.
Right.
And so I wouldn't For the Love of God is a little more maybe mainstream listenable. And this is, trust me, that's coming from a place of total idol worship of Steve Vai. Now, if we're talking Steve Vai with David Lee Roth or White Snake, yeah. There's some stuff there. There was awesome intros that could go on a list of stuff like that I would put up
There was some of
every day
his
of the week.
solo stuff that was in there.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar enough with all the solo stuff for me to remember it all. But this bed music I've got right now actually was in one of them as one of their favorite, not necessarily the best, just one of the favorite top 10s. And this is Mr. Zakk Wylde with Black Label Society. But the Satriani,
that's not Black Label Society. That's Pride and Glory that you're playing.
This is the remix done by Black Label.
Okay. I remember when this record came out, and I was in high school. I was a senior. I might have been my junior. But I bought this. And, like, it's rare that I've run into anybody that's ever fucking heard this. And I love that whole record. But my favorite song on there is, it's like, sure, I love it. And let me tell you my favorite
Dead as
song.
Yesterday?
No, not that song. It's the one, been caught between the, not Horse Called War, been caught between the blue and the Harvester of Pain.
Yes.
Harvester of Pain. And there's a couple ballads on there that are real good tearjerker. Every song on there is awesome. Hate Your Guts is one of my funniest. It's a freaking funny ass song. That record was killer. Ozzy hated it. I remember Ozzy was like, I don't know, doing this stuff with this country and this like Garth Brooks meets Leonard Skinner and cry me a fucking river of blood. And so there was a rift between Zakk and Ozzy because Zakk was doing this kind of stuff. I remember, I think Guitar World described it as Garth Brooks meets Ozzy or something. And I'm like, no. It's much better than that.
Yes, a lot better than that. I'm a big Zakk Wylde fan, and
Maybe
even though
Zakk
it was
can write his own music for real, he doesn't need to put his name on it.
yeah. The funny thing is Pride and Glory is still Black Label Society because all it was a name change.
Now that I didn't know.
Yeah,
But it makes sense.
He's had a lot of different musicians come through, but it's still labeled under the Black Label Society. There was a lot of the reissues that was put under Black Label. Regardless, it is still Zakk. But
Sure.
yeah, some of these songs, and then there was a lot of that bubblegum rock. And when I say bubblegum, that wasn't ever into the hair bands or the
Hanson?
Yes.
But
Mr. Rush, he's got a favorite from back in the 80s, and this gal was actually brought up in one of those favorite top 10s, Belinda Carlisle.
Circle in the Sand.
That was actually the song. Mr. Rush. What?
That was like a circle in the sand.
Doesn't matter.
That made it as an intro. I mean, I know it was a hit for her.
It was just. It wasn't necessarily the intro. This is just one of those top 10. There was many different headlines.
I mean, I
for
know it was a hit for her, but it wasn't.
It wasn't
Like, I
the
have
intro.
Okay,
but-
admittedly, I have that song on a playlist of stuff, but it's not like energetic.
No.
It's not an energetic song. Not like Heaven is a Place on Earth or Belinda Carlisle. Guilty
So
pleasure.
Mr.
It's one of my-
Rush
she's one
wants
of my
to
guilty
have
pleasures. Okay, all right.
Mr. Rush, we know him as Brad. He wants to have her baby still.
You know, I get it.
And his other dream woman is Kate Walsh, but she's not a musician, so it doesn't matter.
Listen, if I ever get my time machine out of pawn, I'm going to go back in time, turn back time, and I'm going to have Cher's baby on that battleship, you know.
With the buttless pants.
Well, she's wearing the fishnets. Yeah. Or I might even go a little bit further back in time when she was up on that horse for not Gypsies, Trance, and Thieves, but Half Breed. Oh, God, she looked hot as shit up on that horse for the Half Breed video.
What about the days of
Super
when
crazy. Super crazy.
Nancy or Ann Wilson was thinner?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one when Nancy's on the horse? I can't remember what video it was, but she got that boosty. Oh, good
No.
Lord.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, we're going to look it up.
Are we now?
Anyway, I'm just my whole point with this is I'm amazed at how many people were getting into stuff that wasn't 100% the mainstream radio hits, saying that there was so much more.
Who was that one we found the one time where it was the... Remember that one? We were going through a list of Grammys, and there was the
Oh,
one...
Nashville Pussy.
Yes! 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 They won a Grammy. I never heard of them.
Nashville
And
Pussy.
clearly you didn't even remember. You remember them. I don't remember.
I remember them because I worked at a store when I was about 16, 17 years old called Media Play. Do you remember them?
Nope.
They later turned into FYE, at least the ones here in
Dude, I
Utah.
was living in
did.
Anchorage, Alaska. We had like... What did we have?
Musicland, Sam Goody.
We might have had Musicland. I don't know if we had Sam Goody. Oh, shoot. What were the big records?
Musicland was the biggest down here.
Pretty sure we had Musicland. That sounds familiar.
Well, Media Play was part of the Musicland group. Anyway, I was in
remember
the music
Medialand.
department. When I went in for my interview, it was for just the Christmas season. And I'm going to brag a little bit here, but my knowledge of music made them want to bring me on full time, and they only let me work the music department. This is back when cassettes were still on the wall, too. And for those of you that don't know what a cassette tape is,
It looks a lot like what Joe Biden's face looked like in the debate the other night
amen.
when it's getting eaten.
Anyhow, that's when I first heard of Nashville Pussy, and I was intrigued. I was a 16-year-old kid, man, and that album cover was pretty something.
Yeah. You know?
Anyhow,
Did it look like a taco truck?
yeah,
All right. Looked like a 2 a.m. taco truck.
yeah. There might have been some fish tacos in there because there was a lot of fish in it.
It looked like a street fish taco.
Could have been.
Gravel.
May have some tartar sauce.
I didn't order
don't
cheese
know.
on that.
Oh.
Oh. Wait a minute. Beavis? I don't think this is guacamole. Yeah.
Anyway,